My name is Michael Saubiojo, and I will be discussing the subject called business study. This topic I've chosen is specifically suitable for my grade 11 learner who are doing business study and who are distinction band learners. And it's also useful for those managers and those who are even working in the industry. And what is the topic? It is called stress and crisis management. Then, according to the academician, what is stress? Then, does it lead to today a balanced lifestyle? So, according to what I put down here, stress is a body reaction to a potentially harmful situation or a difficult situation. Another one say it is frustration, whereby somebody is confused, irritation, tension, or when you are facing what we call a pressure, either from your working place or from your studies, especially those who will be writing metric. Some are seriously under tension, particularly the grade 11, who will also be writing their promotion exams very soon. Then this stress, much as it is important, what causes stress is a question which I will try to, as much as possible, to answer. Number one of the things that normally causes stress is workload. What do you mean by workload? Whereby you are working in a company, then a job that was supposed to be done by 3 or 4 workers were given only to you, and you intend to excel means to perform it very well. Then there will be a stress. 2, work demand intruding to family and personal life. These are 2 in 1 area. What do you mean by intruding? Whereby either as a father or as a mother, because of the workload you have in your working place, in your business, you do not have time for your family. Don't forget, your family will start complaining, and there may be one challenges or the other, because they believe you don't have time for them again. Even to affect your personal life, because since you don't have time to rest, you don't have time for your family, then there will be complaining from your family. And as soon as you want to balance, it will affect your work, and your employer will be complaining. 3, the time pressure and deadline not suiting every workers. What do you mean by deadline? That is where you are a contractor and the person who have given you a contract have told you this work, we want it to be done and completed in 3 months, and you have agreed with them that actually we'll do it within 2 months and some days. But very unfortunate, because of some delays here and there, this job now, after 3 months, you have not even done half of it. Then there will be crisis, because the person who have given you the contract will say, you promised me 3 months. You even told me within 3 months you finish. But unfortunately, you did not finish. Then there will be what we call stress, because you are under serious pressure. Another one, academician will say, inadequate trained subordinate. Who are the subordinate? Those who are supporting working with you. And especially when they are not well trained, and you are the one that is the manager, you are well trained, you are capable, you can do everything, but those subordinates who are working with you, who are co-workers, they are not well trained. Then there will be stress, because now to you as a manager or as a supervisor, it means you are not performing your duty adequately, so they are going to be stress. Then another one, long working hours. Imagine somebody who resumes 7 o'clock and will not close until 7 p.m. again. He resumes 7 a.m. in the morning, and did not close until 7 p.m. in the evening again, then the family will be demanding for you at home. Why is it every day you come home late? Why do you arrive late? There will be a lot of questions. Then they are going to be stressed. And another one say, keeping up with the new technology. You will agree with me. Technology around the world changes every hours, if not every minute. Suppose you are using old technology. Don't forget, you may not be able to meet up your consumer demand. So there will be a lot of challenges you are facing. This will result in the serious stress in your life, because the management will be also complaining, why are you not keeping to the latest technology? And don't forget, capital may be short for coming. When you don't have enough capital, you may not be able to buy an adequate, what we call equipment, which is latest equipment. Hence, there will be a serious stress. Yeah, then another one says, your personal belief, that is, being in conflict with business culture. What do you mean by culture? A culture could be a religion, could be a language, and could be what we call your academic qualification. My academic qualification does require this. Then, and you are also being told, because you don't want to fail or you don't want to lose your job, there will be a stress. Then, lack of power or influence. What do you mean by power? That is where you are not given adequate power to execute your job. Then you are under a serious control. This will give you a stress, especially when you cannot influence the decision of the management, or they say, please keep to our instruction. That is what we needed. Don't forget, you will be under serious stress. Then the last one, but not the least, or let's say, okay, let me take two more. Incompetent bosses. What do you mean by bosses? Those who are your leaders. You are looking at your qualification and the experience. 3/4 of what you know, they don't know it. In fact, they don't know more than 1/3 of what you know. Then they attempt to control you. And an attempt to move forward by fast-tracking your work, don't forget, they will never agree with you. Because they will tell you, pointedly, you are moving faster. Because they want to catch up. Then there will be a strain in your brain. This will develop into what we call stress. Then the last one, interpersonal relationship with colleagues. Yeah, there are some people we call difficult employees, especially when you are the manager. To manage this type of stress. Actually, when I teach this area, I usually end up by saying, when you are working with a difficult employees, you are facing a serious challenge. Don't forget, you can hardly satisfy a person we call that is person who is a difficult employee. There's nothing on earth you can do to satisfy them. But in my conclusion, what I normally encourages my learner is this type of workmate or colleagues, you ignore him, because you cannot fire him. But unless you are able to build a serious case against him, then the management agree with you. That is only time you can fire this type of employee. These are the little one I put down in my preparation to what is causes stress. Then how do we know all the symptoms? How do you know if you have a stress? One of the things you should notice yourself, as soon as you started getting aggressive, little things get you angry. If you don't want to talk to people are irritating you, then you'll be watchful. You are developing stress. Number 2, sleep disturbances. What do I mean by this? When you cannot sleep in the night, you can only sleep a few hours, then you open your eyes, there will be no sleep again. And by appointment, you have to be at your working place by 7 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. Don't forget, be watchful for what we call stress. Short-term memory lapses. That is, you have no longer what we call retentive memory. Retentive memory simply means when you discuss something for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you still remember. As soon as you no longer have a retentive memory, be watchful for stress. Then, difficult in concentration. That is, your brain, your heart is now divided into 2, 3, 4 places. One is with your family, another one is at home, another one is in the school. So be watchful for what we call stress. So these are the symptoms of what we call stress. Then we believe in management. There is no problem without solution. Solution, what I mean by solution is this: how do you manage the so-called stress? Yeah. Here I have with me, be aware of your level of stress. That is when you know who you are. You'll be able to manage your stress. Identify the causes of your stress. That is what make you thinking. Is there any solution? Ask yourself to what makes you be stressful. Yeah, one person was discussing when we were chatting on business studies some time ago. He told me, I have tried to minimize my expenses according to my account. That is, he is releasing himself from a burden. So it means he was able to conquer a stress. Then another one said, live a balanced lifestyle. What are the balanced style? Do those things that make you happy. Don't be too much inquisitive. Don't participate in what you cannot do. Then exercise regularly. Regularly means it could be once in a day, in the morning, in the evening, but let it suit your timetable. Then get plenty of sleep. Yeah, especially weekends. If you are not working, try to rest your nerves. Then meditation. In what? If you are a good believer, you can meditate in the either Quran or Bible, whatever you think it suits you. It could be your preferable novel you try to read. Affirm yourself with positive self-talk. What do I mean by this? Be far away from a detractor. Those who always think negativity. This type of people, they hardly see anything good. So if you associate yourself, and if you are with them, as soon as they mention this thing, your temperature, your body will move, in that now you are going against what make you happy. So they always think of negativity. Another one is to do something that you enjoy every day. What do I mean by this? Something that keep you happy when you do it. I remember some time ago, I told somebody, I said one of the things that make me happy in my life is teaching, especially when I'm looking at my learner and I can say up to 50, up to 100, and I'm to teach them, and they are ready to cooperate. I say I'm happy. He look at me, say I will look up. I say, yeah, it's my job. I should be able to cope. Okay, and focus on things you can control. That is, don't aim too high. That is, don't go too far to something you cannot control. It rather give you stress when you are not succeeding. Abandon perfectionist. Now, you cannot be perfect every time. So if you think you want to be perfect, then you are creating a crisis for yourself called Mr. Stress. Then what are the relationship between stress and performance? That is, how can I cope? He said once, when one does not have any pressure and they are relaxed, it becomes difficult for them to perform. So there are somebody who does not rest because they have been trained right from youth. This type of resting, when you think your body does not need rest, may give you stress, a short performances. Then excessive pressure also make it difficult for you to perform, especially by grade 11 learners. Yeah, it is good to study, but always find time to rest. Yeah, don't forget, your parent may be a working class and they want you to exam mean to pass your exams. Then it's either you are afraid or you want to balance the two, but look for a way to convince your parent to make sure you always have time to rest after study. Then I believe you can conquer this. Then everyone needs a little push in order to what? To perform. That is, a little working hard, it will enable you to perform very well in your exam. Not only this forthcoming exam, because of the crisis we have now, because of COVID, But in a future exam, that is by working hard, by having a what we call discussion made, those who are serious, particularly in this our noble subject, then there is an optimal level of stress where a person performs at their best, and that level differ from person to person. Don't forget, we are not equally talented. What do I mean by talented? We are not equally intelligent. Some learner, you teach them once, they know what you are saying. Some you have to go 2 times. You have to teach, meaning you have to teach them 2 times. Some up to 4 times. But if you find yourself in this category, you need to go extra mile in order to be able to satisfy your parent and yourself. That is all about the relationship between stress and performances. So now let us look. He said, what is it to lead what we call a balanced lifestyle? It means, what can I do? What can you do as a grade 11 learner, as a grade 12 learner? What can you do as a family or even as a manager to live a balanced lifestyle? One of our recommendation is leading a balanced life means that you divide your focus among your mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. Let me repeat that area because it's very important for you. You divide your mental, your physical, and spiritual well-being. Do you know why this area is like this? Is that some are ardent believer in their own religion. Anything short of asking them not to practice their religion, I can assure you, you meet what we call a stiff resistance. That is a very hard resistance because he so believe in our own religion. What are the characteristics of a very successful people? One of the things I have there is that they don't give up. What I mean by they don't give up, they just don't try once, they fail, and they say, okay, that is it. No. As a manager in training, particularly by grade 11, particularly those who have some challenges last year, what I'm recommending, what I'm suggesting, don't give up. You rather work hard. But don't forget, associate yourself with those who have the symptoms of passing, not those who have symptoms of negativity. And I can assure you, you will surely make it. They are always being resilient. Resilience simply means they don't give up. They are always in worried. How can I? Always thinking in terms of creative things for themselves, new things for themselves, in order to succeed. They always believe in their own capability. You see, let me put it this way. If you don't trust yourself that you can perform, or you can pass, or you can do the work, I'm afraid you have defeated yourself already. So, a good person will believe and trust himself that he can pass. So, when I trust my grade 11 learners, they will be able to trust and believe in themselves that they are going to pass. They treat other people with what? With respect. Don't forget, they are your colleagues. So if you treat them with respect, even though if there is somewhere you made a mistake, and you are not scared or you are not ashamed, neither are you so afraid of asking your colleagues. What you think is a problem for you in terms of understanding, your friend may just show you and explain beyond your understanding. Another one characteristic is this. They have a goal and know what they want. What does it mean? You know the reason why your parents have sent you to school? When I'm with my grade 12 learners, I usually tell them, even my grade 12, my grade 11, because I used to call them manager in training. I always tell them, do you know the reason why your parents have sent you to school? So we say, it's to get knowledge. I say, yeah, it's true, I agree with you. It is to get knowledge. But don't forget, your parents, there was a time, once upon a time, they were so small. But now they've grown up. And to get a stage, and some of them are working, but to get a stage, they will be retired. Then as at that time, if you are focused more on education, It's either you have graduated or you are doing a nice job. And the reason why they have sent you to school, when they become old and they can no longer work on their own, they will depend on you. How? By providing for their needs. Okay. They're also capable of what? Managing stress. Because when you know your weaknesses, then you should be able to manage your stress successfully. What I mean by your weaknesses, what make you angry? What make you perform poorly? What makes you as a grade 11? It could be, let me put it this way. It could be either you have some friends who are not serious. And in your own case, your parents have told you, one of the reasons why I'm sending you to school, I want you to go to university after your matric. And when you are in grade 11, you are not passing. Yeah, don't forget. You'll be so worried. Then, if in the process you develop a stress, the next thing is to manage that stress so that you'll be able to satisfy your parent what they actually want you to achieve in life as a grade 11 learner. Though their strength and weaknesses, yeah, my good learner who are fasted will be thinking of SWOT. Yeah, it's related to SWOT, but this is not SWOT. Ne? He want to say strength simply mean your capability to do a certain task. 2, your weaknesses simply mean what do you think that normally distracts you, that does not allow you to cope with your academic performances. So one of the characteristics of those who are successful is that they know their strengths and weaknesses. Here, it is very important to know characteristics of a successful people, because reason is this: if you know the characteristics, what have made them succeed or be successful in life, you can borrow from them. You can even get closer to them so that you can learn from a successful people. Now, these are stress by definition, causes of stress, the relationship between stress and performances. Then let us look, how do you manage stress? Either in your school, as a learner, within your peer pressure group, within your family, how do you manage stress? Let's see. It is a program that helps employee, that is as a student or as a learner, to cope and deal with what? With stress. We call it management. That is how to manage the stress you have developed over the year. Okay? Another thing I'm going to discuss here is this. Why do some businesses implement stress management program in the workplace? A clever manager or a responsible manager will identify quick. I'm teaching by grade 11 learner now that when you eventually become a manager, know how to identify especially those workers who are very active. They all of a sudden started getting weak. He used to be playful, cheerful, hardworking. All of a sudden, you start seeing him no longer happy. Something already creeping, which we call, and eventually it may develop what we call stress. Then, how do you manage it? My grade 11 will be attentive to this area because it's very useful for you. And all I normally prophesy for my, sorry for introducing issue of religion, but I always tell my grade 11 learners, I'm training you as a manager. Some of them will laugh. Yes, I say, yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah, I need to develop management. Okay, now let's go. One of them, stress management program, it had to do what? It causes a decrease in absenteeism. That is, as a manager or as a principal or as a class teacher, when you manage stress adequately in your class, you will discover that the rate of absenteeism of your learner will reduce drastically. In some cases, you will have 100%. Do you know why? You made them happy. They look at onto you as a model, as a role model. Then it increases productivity. And I believe Some of my grade 11 and I have their pencil, pen with them. Sometimes I set this area in equation for them. I tested them. I test their intelligence. So it means your output will increase, which we call productivities. And I can assure you, if you have been getting level 3, level 4, and eventually after you have discovered, you've listened to me, and you have implemented this strategy, you discover your level have jumped to level 6. I can assure you, there's no missing word. Your parent will be happy because they now see there's a hope in where they are investing their money every time. Help employee to be more rational. Rational in sense of thinking. It will help you as a manager to be rational in your thinking. Rationality, that is the way you now thinking. You think no longer ordinarily, but you think as a person who are ready to create creatively. Yeah. Then it helps employees to be in control of their emotion. Sometimes what make learner so depressed when they are being provoked, they get irritated, then the emotion comes in. And I can assure you, a learner with emotion, especially those who are preparing to go to grade 12, now try as much as possible to be able to control emotion, the way you see others. And don't think you are the only one in the planet or you are the only one in the class who can do it. So control your emotion. Don't overrate yourself. Another one's help employees to less irritable. What is irritable? You no longer see other workers or other employee as a fool or other classmates as a fool. You no longer see them. It allows you to be people no longer irritate you, irrespective of their color, their languages. You see them as a classmate, as a schoolmate, who both of you can share an idea. It increases concentration level among employee. Let me extend it to my learner. When you are in friendship, there's a peace in your classroom. I can assure you, your level of concentration will increase. Why? Because now there is no crisis. And crisis means there will be no stressful. You don't need to be thinking of other people because they hate you. But your 100% concentration will now be on your business study or your mathematics or any of the subject which you have been hating before. So it means when you manage your stress very well, you will achieve all this, what I have said. Number one, it decreases absenteeism in your class. 2, it will increase your output. And I put output in your performances. You were once in level 2, level 3, but after you have done all I've said so far, you discover that your output has increased to either level 5 or level 6. And what can I assure you is this? Your parents are going to be happy with you. Then it helps you to be more what? Rational. You're now thinking as a rational human being. Another one, to help you as an employee to what? To control on their emotion. I told you, you need as a grade 11 learner to be able to control your emotion. So let me pause here so that I have some area of question here, which usually as an educator I normally ask my learner, and I'm going to read some of them and I will explain what I expect you as a grade 11 learner to do. And I believe you have pencil or a pen with you. One of it is, what education say, evaluate how stress negatively affect business, or let me put, or your academic performances. Let me repeat that question. Evaluate in a business language simply means you explain. And if you still don't know business verb, please talk to your educator or your teacher. Because I can assure you, if you don't know, of course it's a theory. I agree with you. Business is a theory, but it has its own language. So you may imagine if I say evaluate, I simply say explain how to negatively affect you as a learner. Then what the answer I always expect here is this. The negativity is that you can no longer performing in your academic. Then if you have been in level 5 before, don't forget, especially when you are stressful, it will now decrease your performances, if not level 1 to level 2. If you are if you can manage to get level 2, I think you should be happy. So the negativity I'm having here is that it will decreases your performances. Another question is this. It said discuss way in which manager can reduce the stress level of their employee in a workplace. Yeah, I love this question a lot. Let me read it again. If you have your pencil, discuss ways in which manager can reduce stress. Then I will now include school. That is, how can educator reduce stress among his learner in his classroom? One of the things, the answer I expected is this: to practice stress management. What are the stress management? That is, you don't aim too much high. You do what you think you are good at. You do what makes you happy, and so on and so forth. So let us go to the second part of this, the topic we call stress management. Then the heading here would be dealing with and adapting to what? Changes. Yeah, in management or in business study, we believe the world, it is not static. It rather moves. What do we mean by move? It means it changes, if not every second. That's why you can notice a lot of changes. So as well as a learner, one or two things may happen. An educator who have taught you in grade 10 business study may not be the one to teach you in your grade 11 you are now. And there's a very possibility the one that is teaching you in grade 11 now may not be the one to teach you your metric. So what am I saying here is this: expect changes, because in management itself, we expect changes, because the world order, the world economy, it is not static. Hence, management also change. So whenever you finish your education and you are working, if you are working a certain manager, you like him so much, something else may happen. They may bring a manager either by promotion to your section and you don't like him. So please, my learner, my grade 11 learner, please try to understand and know how to adjust or adapt to changes, because there is no any life that is static. It's not a good life. Now let's see how can you manage crisis. Definition of crisis is a threatening situation to you as an individual. That is crisis. It is a threatening situation to you as an individual. Individual means one person. Then, or as a family. If it's a family, that is a unit. That is father, mother, and the children. Then, usually, there should be a crisis. The last one here says, or a work, or the nation at large. Or the nation at large. What I mean by nation at large, that means South Africa as a country. Yeah, there are sometimes in your working place, there could be changes from the manager, and the workers tend to complain.
We are restoring your identity. Waterberg FM 99.3. Go with the flow. Waterberg breakfast 6 to 9, Monday to Friday.
That's fire.
We are still on crisis management. How it affects you as an individual, as a family or in a workplace because of, or in a nation or in a country. Okay, let's see an example. It's a workplace accident. What do you mean by accident? Something that you do not have, expect happen all of a sudden. Don't forget, no matter how strong you are as a learner in grade 11, you imagine you walk to your class early in the morning, then you saw, let me put it this way, you saw something you don't expect. It's either all your chairs have been, all your table have been removed overnight. I'm very sure you'll be shocked. You will ask yourself, what is happening here? Yeah, it do happen. So we call it accident, and it can result in a serious what? Injury. That is when you visit looking for this table, chair, or fire is burning part of the school building. It may result an injury, we call it accident, to workers or to a death to workers. So let's take it to school. How do I explain that if something else that happened all of a sudden, or imagine while you are a business teacher is teaching you how you are doing mathematics, one of your learner or one of your key friends fell down. Let me ask you, will you be happy? And you don't know the causes of why he fell down, and you try to revive him. So it's an accident in school, and I can assure you, you are not going to be happy. And if care is not taken, it will give you develop what we call stress, especially when the so-called that's your friend passes on after doctor have tried. God forbid bad thing. Another one, machine breakdown. That is, you when you finish your education, you're now working, and you as a manager, you discover some of your best machine, so expensive machine breaks down. I'm very sure you'll not be happy. He said it can lead to a serious delay in production, leading to high cost of maintenance or replacement. Let me put this way. That is, if one of the machines you are dependent on to give you a best product, all of a sudden breaks down and damage, I can assure you, even though if it's your parents' company, you will not be happy, because you know the money your parents are supposed to use to take care of you, maybe spend on fixing the machine. And I make sure that very month there will be a story from your parents' side. Then, when this machine breaks down, don't forget there are one or two things they may want to do. It's either they want to fix the machine, and don't forget the engineer that will fix the machine is not coming to fix the machine free. It's going to charge your parent, and possibly sometimes they will buy a spare part. Then, in a situation whereby the machine cannot be fixed, what is needed is what we call replacement. And that replacement is going to cost money. So machines breakdown can cause you a serious health issue. Why? Because the machine breakdown and you rely so much on the machine. Shortage of stocks. What are stocks? Sometimes we call it raw materials, which you are using for to produce your output. What is output? The product your company is selling. Then, it may lead to what? Inconvenient to what? To your customer, because if you don't supply your customer on time, they gave you 2 days, or they give you a tender to supply within 3 days. And within 1 month, within a week, you are unable to supply because the machine breaks down or there's a shortage of stock. I can assure you, you may lose your reputation with that type of customer. And if care is not taken, if you don't manage the crisis very well, it may lead you losing that type of customer, because he will tell you point blankly that you are not a trustworthy producer. So, another one, increase in fuel price. Yeah, especially those who are driving. I know in my grade level we say, after all, I don't have a car. Yeah, it is true you don't have a car, but possibly your parent may have a car. And when the fuel, because nearly all the part of South Africa economy depend on petroleum products, either to run the machine, to drive their car, or at least to be using the machine. So, and as soon as the price increases, it will increase the cost of production. What do I mean by cost of the production? If you have been using 100 rand to produce a product, that price may, because of the fuel price increase, may increase, the cost of production may increase by 20 rand. And don't forget, the increase of that 20 rand, the management of the company, they are not ready to show that. They will rather pass it to the consumers. And you and I are the user of that product. So we are the one to pay the extra 20 rand. What I mean here is this: increase in fuel price. And I know my grade 11, they know what I mean by increase in fuel price. Then theft or fraud. Fraud is stealing stealing money illegally. The money you are told to keep, you start using it for yourself. We call it fraud. Then stealing. So this may lead to financial what? Losses for the businesses. Because what the management are expected to use in order to run the company now have been taken by a single person in form of stealing. And increase the need to what? To upgrade the security system. What is security system? If it is a stock they are taking, it means you need to hire extra security. 2, you need what to CCTV all everywhere so that you know who is stealing the stock. And this thing, they don't come free. Don't forget, when you buy a security system, it's going to cost you money. Not only that, when you buy the security system, somebody is coming to install it. So they all cost money. And what will happen to the end product? It will increase the cost of production. And the cost of production will be passed what? Will be passed to the consumers, which is you and I. Here, my grade 11, be careful, because I may ask you and say, what will happen to cost of production when fuel prices increase, when there's a theft or fraud? Yeah, I can ask you that question. And all the answer I'm expecting from you as at that time is this: the cost of production will increase, and the bulk of that cost of production increase will be passed to the consumers. Okay, let's look at another one. Lawsuit. What is lawsuit? Don't get confused by grade 11. Simply mean whereby you have wronged somebody or you have done something wrong, and the person you have wronged or you have done something wrong decided to call police or take you to court. And the court, don't forget to waste your time, to waste your money, because now you now need lawyer. So this is what they call lawsuit. Legal battles are a cost to the what? To the business. Because the lawyer will not go to represent you in court mahala or free. It's not possible. Even though if it's your family, it will ask you for petrol money. And don't forget, petrol money maybe, you see, as a lawyer, they don't just charge 1,000, 2,000. They charge a lot. So if this amount is spent on behalf of the company, then that lawsuit cost will be added to cost of production. How will be it? My grade 11 is family and is educators. They are the one to bear, because they are the user of the product. Okay, and the lawsuit, it become apparent. That is what I mean by apparent, becoming common for your company. One of the things that may happen, it may damage the reputation of your company, especially when it involves stealing. People will no longer trust your company again, because every time a customer takes you to court, they will say, oh, it means you're a clever businessman. You have been stealing a lot of. So please, by grade 11, be careful here when it becomes issue of lawsuit, because the repercussion is that unless you are winning, then it will increase your reputation. But if you are losing the case, it will decrease your. Okay, so these are the things that help us. Then how do we crisis management in workplace? My what do you call it, producer already signaled to me this topic. I enjoy teaching it a lot, but I quickly do some aspect. So how do you manage crisis in the workplace? You can intervene urgently. Another one is say changes, like I've told you before, changes can happen, and though because of it kill yourself, you rather learn how to manage or how to adapt to the new one. Then changes can be two. It can be either external, that is outside. I believe my learner will know the difference between internal and external. External simply means crisis from outside the company, while that of internal is what we call crisis within the company. So that